You work 40 to 50 hours a week. You earn the promotion, the raise, and the annual bonus. Yet, by the end of the month, that hard-earned money disappears into a network of invisible digital drains. This creates what we call the paycheck trap. It's an economic cycle where every increase in your income is perfectly offset by a corresponding increase in your lifestyle expenses, leaving your net worth stagnant. The modern economy is flawlessly optimized to siphon your salary before you have a chance to save it. One-click checkouts and algorithmic targeting ensure your cash flows out with zero friction. This comparison matrix shows the gap between aspirational lifestyle and mathematical reality. Your income trends upward, but your net worth flatlines. The blocks holding your wealth down are specific, automated drains, lifestyle creep, micro-subscriptions, and no-cost EMIs. Financial failure in your 20s is rarely caused by a lack of income. It is the result of an architectural flaw in your behavioral systems. Modern credit relies on a psychological trick, breaking a massive luxury expense into frictionless monthly chunks. This bypasses your natural resistance to spending by making the cost feel insignificant. This is compounded by subscription fatigue. Users sign up for dozens of streaming services and apps, then actively forget the volume of automated payments leaving their accounts every 30 days. This flowchart illustrates how low-cost subscriptions and EMIs aggregate into a massive wealth drain. A few hundred rupees forms a red deficit pool that actively swallows your risk capital. This is the financial buffer required to pivot your career without immediate ruin. To protect your autonomy, you must follow the 5% rule. Ensure your total monthly commitment to consumer EMIs never exceeds 5% of your take-home pay. Funding short-term dopamine hits with future income creates a liquidity trap. A liquidity trap is a state where your cash flow is restricted, that you lose the ability to invest or move toward better opportunities. In India, social signaling is deeply tied to physical assets. Buying a car or a house early in your career is treated as a mandatory marker of success, a cultural proof of stability that exists regardless of the underlying math. Consider the true monthly outflow of a mid-range SUV loan. Between the EMI, insurance, fuel, and maintenance, your available cash drops by roughly 30,000 rupees every month. This graph compares the SUV's trajectory against an index fund. The vehicle follows a steep depreciation curve, while the investment climbs steadily through compounding. Projecting that curve forward reveals the multi-crore opportunity cost. Your future self is subsidizing your desire to look successful. Early real estate creates a similar state of negative carry. Negative carry occurs when the cost of holding an asset, such as home loan interest, outweighs the income it generates, like the 2% rental yields common in Indian metros. Locking into heavy physical assets in your 20s destroys your two greatest wealth-building advantages: geographic career mobility and the raw compounding power of early capital.
Most traditional advice suggests parking all your wealth in fixed deposits for ultimate safety. This mindset is the FD fallacy. The FD fallacy is the assumption that a stable account balance is synonymous with financial safety. It ignores the invisible risk of your money losing value over time. Your savings are being attacked by real inflation. Real inflation measures the actual rising costs of essentials like healthcare and education, which often exceed the government's baseline figures. This chart shows how taxes and real inflation devour a standard 7% return. Once the blocks are removed, your net purchasing power is actually shrinking. The alternative is capturing the growth of the broader Indian economy through passive index funds. Index funds are investment vehicles that track a specific market index rather than trying to beat it through active trading. You do this through a Nifty 50 index fund. The Nifty 50 is a benchmark index that tracks the performance of the 50 largest companies listed on the National Stock Exchange, which you see here. This low-cost passive strategy is the specific investment framework championed by Warren Buffett. He has long advocated for index funds as the most reliable path for building long-term wealth. Playing it safe in cash guarantees the erosion of your purchasing power. Accepting market volatility is the mandatory price of admission for real wealth growth. For students and freshers with zero risk capital, you cannot optimize what you do not have. You must build a baseline before you can invest it. The digital freelance economy is the fastest method to generate that capital without upfront investment. Remote work provides the structural advantage of the dollar-rupee arbitrage. The dollar-rupee arbitrage is the financial benefit of earning in a stronger currency while living in an economy with a lower cost of living. This grid represents how global digital labor transforms your time and skills into hard currency at an accelerated rate. Your primary lever in your early 20s is time. Trading 14 hours a week of passive consumption for active digital labor is the only way to build an investable baseline. We can consolidate these findings into an actionable framework based on your current life stage. For students, the rule is to avoid the EMI trap completely and focus exclusively on generating freelance baseline capital. For high earners, the strategy is to automate a 50-30-20 budget. This defends against lifestyle creep by routing 30% of your income to index funds before you have the chance to spend it. For conservative savers, the rule is to cap fixed deposits at exactly a 6-month emergency fund. All excess capital must be pushed into equity markets to outpace inflation. All three strategies rely on the uncompromising mathematical law of compound interest. True financial freedom is not achieved by earning a high salary or chasing societal status symbols. It is achieved by architecting automated systems that force your money to outwork your spending.